Hello, my name is Param Singh. Hope you guys are doing well. In the last few videos, we have learned how to design functions that consume lists. Now we'll switch gears and design a function that instead of consuming a list is going to produce a list. So that should be a fun exercise. Let's see what we want to do here. So there is a module called enum and it has a function called toList, and it takes up a range. For example, if I give it a 1.3, so 1.3 is a notation for a range. So if I run this function, I get a list of elements 1, 2, and 3. So we'll simulate this behavior with our own function design. Let's see how that works in our editor. We'll start with this spec and let's call this function from range. So we will produce a list from range, and it's going to take an integer and another integer, and it will produce a list of integers. So this is our signature. Let's write the purpose statement. So produce list of integers from given min and max values. All right, so essentially we're saying if 0 and 0, it should give us a list of 0. If 1 3, it should give us a list of 1 2 and 3, and if 1 negative 1, it should give us an empty list. So these are some of the examples. We'll code these examples into our test cases. Let's write a stub. So I'm going to say from range, and the stub will take a min and max values. And right now, let's just produce a list of integers with one integer 0 to match the expected return type of this function. Now let's go to our test file and test from range and assert my list from range. So we said if it is 0 0, it should produce a list with one element 0, right? Let's write few more cases. If it is 1 and 3, it should give us 1 2 and 3, list of 3 elements. If it is 0 and negative 3, it should give us an empty list. Let's try to run our tests. And we get one failure because we have not implemented our function yet. So that is all right. So let's go to our implementation file and think about our solution. So we have 3 different cases. The first case is where the 2 integers are same. So we'll code that first. So we're going to say a guard when min equals max, and will produce the number that we have given it, right? So that's our first case. The second case is when min is greater than max, then we will produce an empty list. And then in the third case, where min is less than max, we'll do our function design that is going to be a self-reference case. And you can think of this min and max range as a list of integers going from minimum to the maximum. In that case, what would be the head of the list and what would be the tail of the list? So head will be the number min and tail will be the range from min plus 1 all the way up to max. So we have to work with the head, and remember we have to add or wrap in the from range function because it is a recursive call to min plus 1 and max. So these are the two pieces we have to work with. If we go back to our editor, the list is constructed by using this join operator with another list. So if I give this 3 numbers, so this is my list, and if I want to add another element 1 to this list, I will use this join operator and wrap it inside square brackets, and that's how I get the list. Going back to our implementation, so we have with us on this right hand side the solution for the tail of the list. So we already have a list of numbers because that's what natural recursion is. So we have to trust this side. And the question is, how do we get the final list where we have the first number, the smallest number, and rest of the list is there? As we saw, to do that, we will join this min to the rest of the list, which comes from the from range tail of the list, and wrap it inside square brackets. So here we have it, our implementation. Let's go ahead and test it, and our tests pass. So this is another function design where instead of consuming a list, we are producing a list. We still have an unknown number of elements that we had to work with, meaning the min and max ranges. And this is why we had to look at it from the recursive nature and work with the first element and then the solution for the rest of the range.